Welcome to The Explainer. Our whole goal here is to take complex topics and break them down into clear, actionable guides. If you're nodding your head right now, you are definitely in the right place. Today, we're going to dive into the reading section, which, let's be honest, is often the biggest hurdle for professionals who need this certification for their career. But we are going to change that. You know, this exam is so much more than just a vocabulary quiz. It's a real test of whether you can navigate actual, real-world German work documents. We're talking everything from company memos to formal meeting notes, all while the clock is ticking. And that is our goal today. We want to reframe this entire test as a puzzle that you can actually solve. By the end of this, you're going to have one core strategy that will let you approach every single reading task with total confidence. All right, let's get into it. We've really looked at how the experts tackle this exam, and we've boiled it all down to one simple but incredibly powerful strategy that works for every single part of the reading test. And here it is. This three-step process is the absolute key. Now, when you mark keywords, you're not just looking for nouns. No, you're on a hunt for verbs, dates, names, specific numbers, anything that can act like a signpost in the text. This framework saves you time, it focuses your attention, and it's the exact one we're going to use to walk through the rest of the exam. Okay, so let's put this strategy into practice with part 1. Think of this part as a matching game. Your job is to connect the needs of 5 different people with 8 short article descriptions. But here's the catch. You're on the clock. You've only got about 10 minutes for this whole section, which means you absolutely cannot afford to read every single word. Speed and precision are everything here. Now look at how perfectly this strategy works here. First, you read the question about person 2. Second, you pinpoint that keyword Weiterbildung, which means further education. And third, you just scan the headlines for that one concept. And boom, there it is in headline C. It's a perfect, quick match, and you haven't wasted any time at all. So, moving on to part 2. This time, you get a short text from a company welcome packet, along with a couple of questions. This whole section is about how quickly you can understand workplace rules and instructions. Now, here's what's really important to know. There is a hidden structure to the questions. It's like the exam designers are actually giving you a hint. The first question is always about the big picture, the main idea, but the second question goes into a very specific detail. So what does this mean for you? It means you read it once for the gist, then you scan it again for that one specific detail. And believe me, this isn't just some small trick. It's a huge time saver. In a 65-minute reading exam, knowing how to approach each text is just as important as your German vocabulary. Now, part 3 of the exam also deals with workplace communication, but it uses the exact same strategy we've been talking about. So we're going to jump ahead to what many people consider the final boss of the reading section, part 4. It can look really intimidating, but I promise it's no match for our strategy. First off, let's just demystify the format. A protocol sounds really formal, but it's just meeting minutes. That's all it is, a summary of a business meeting. And the great news is, it follows a very predictable structure every time, with a header, a list of who was there, and the agenda points. For this section, you'll want to budget about 15 minutes, which gives you roughly 3 minutes per question. Once again, it all comes down to managing that clock, and our strategy is exactly how you do it. Here is a perfect example. A question might ask if the minutes from the previous meeting were approved. Now, instead of reading the whole document, you apply the strategy. You read the question, then you scan just the header and the opening lines. You'd quickly spot the part that says the January 15th protocol was approved, ohne weitere Änderung, without any changes. This lets you immediately rule out any wrong answers about revisions. You see, it's not about magic, it's about having a method. When you have a consistent system, it breaks down even the toughest parts of this exam into simple, manageable steps. So here's your takeaway plan. Go into that exam with more than just your German language skills. Go in with a strategy. Always read the questions first so you know what you're looking for. Mark those keywords and synonyms to give yourself a target. Scan the text to save precious time. And finally, know the format of each task so you can anticipate exactly what's coming next. With this framework, you can stop seeing the reading section as some impossible barrier and start seeing it for what it really is, a puzzle that you now know exactly how to solve. This challenge is now your next professional opportunity.